Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show, where we cover all the major news you need to know about heading into your work day, your work week, or your work weekend, or hopefully you're not working at all, but we'll make sure that we cover all variety of news for you so you're prepared of what the heck's going on. At least you're getting the gist of it. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper, well, there's other podcasts throughout the day that probably will break this down a little bit better than me. But there's a lot of news going on with the FBI, man. A lot of news. So we're going to make sure we break that down for you as well. But before we do that, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button, but also check out baldbrad.com. This is our sponsorship. I'm sponsoring my damn self. You're right. We have a store. If you go to baldbrad.com, you click on store, we got a bunch of merchandise that we would love for you to purchase. It does support me, but it also supports the brand as well. And since we're a morning show, it only makes sense for you to buy a Patriot mug and drink out of it. I am using one right here. I have to be careful because this thing is topped off right now with a lot of American brew, but we got a lot of women's merchandise as well. If you notice, it's a lot of black and white because, well, that's how we roll here, baby. And black is slim. Black looks good on people. And then we also have a book called Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. Hey, you're seeing it in real time. Okay. And this goes into how the anti-police movement is really a blueprint for social chaos. We also look at how the left has calculated the use of race to divide the nation. They've been doing that for quite some time. And then the push for socialism, but it's disguised as compassion. See those bread lines, those grocery stores that are government run that Mamdani wants to put in New York City? No, that's because he cares, folks. Him trying to force people to rent out apartments to those that shouldn't be rented out to because they can't afford it. See, that's compassion is what that is. And then how indoctrination in schools is reshaping the minds of the next generation. Well, you sending your kid to K through 12th and then college is now brainwashing them. And you've seen the outgrowth of that. Now it's leading to assassinations of political people like Charlie Kirk. And then the role of the mainstream media silencing dissent and spreading propaganda, which is what we saw most recently with Jimmy Kimmel. You also see it with Stephen Colbert. Well, you kind of see it everywhere, don't you? So head over to Amazon and pick up this book. Again, if you go to baldbrad.com and click on the book at the top, click buy now, it will take you to Amazon and get yourself a copy. I believe it's on sale right now. So great idea, great read, and very informative. I wouldn't have written it if I wouldn't want to read it. So that's why I wrote it, because it's a damn thing I would want to read. Well, it's good to see all of you in the chat. Appreciate you spending time here. Let's get into the news. The DOJ is coming after James Comey. And, a grand jury indicted the man on Thursday on charges related to his handling of the Trump-Russia investigation. Comey is facing 2 charges of making false statements and obstruction of congressional proceeding. The alleged false statement originated from a congressional hearing held on September 30th, 2020, according to the indictment. The moment the prosecutor zeroed in on took place during the exchange between Comey and Senator Ted Cruz. So here we go. Here's the transcript. Cruz said, on May 3rd, 2017, in this committee, Chairman Grassley asked you point blank, have you ever been an anonymous source in the news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation? I feel like I actually remember this. You responded under oath, never. He then asked you, have you ever authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports about the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation? You responded again under oath, no. Now, as you know, Mr. McCabe, who works for you, has publicly and repeatedly stated that he leaked information to the Wall Street Journal and that you were directly aware of it and that you directly authorized it. Now, what Mr. McCabe is saying and what you testified to this committee cannot both be true. One or the other is false. Who is telling the truth? Comey said, I can only speak to my testimony. I stand by my testimony you summarized that I gave in May of 2017. Somebody's lying. Damn, Ted is one of the greatest in terms of going out there and making sure you're laying down the law. Now, Comey's expected to surrender for arrest on Friday, which is today. He is the former senior administration official to face charges. He's the first, rather, related to the 2016 Russia collusion hoax, which Comey was on Capitol Hill to testify about that for the September 2020 hearing. So why now is the statute of limitations for lying to Congress is 5 years. So in a few days, Comey would have been out of reach for prosecutors for his 2020 testimony. And then Comey's reaction came out. He said, my heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have a great confidence in the federal justice system, and I'm innocent, so let's have a trial and keep the faith. Now, I believe he did come out with an actual video yesterday, and I want to make sure that we could play that for all of you and see what's going on with him. Let me see. I thought he came out with a response via social media. Maybe I don't have it. I thought I did. I thought I retweeted. Oh, here we go. I do have it.
Known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump. But we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid. And I hope you're not either.
I'm not afraid.
I hope instead you are engaged, you are paying attention, and you will vote like your beloved country depends upon it, which it does. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
To another topic. On May 3rd, 2017, in this committee, Chairman Grassley asked you point blank, quote, have you ever been an anonymous source in news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation? You responded under oath, quote, never. He then asked you, quote, have you ever authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports about the Trump investigation or the Clinton administration? You responded again under oath, no. Now, as you know, Mr. McCabe, who works for you, has publicly and repeatedly stated that he leaked information to the Wall Street Journal and that you were directly aware of it and that you directly authorized it. Now, what Mr. McCabe is saying and what you testified to this committee cannot both be true. One or the other is false. Who's telling the truth?
I can only speak to my testimony. I stand by what the testimony you summarized that I gave in May of 2017.
So your testimony is you've never authorized anyone to leak. And Mr. McCabe, if he says contrary, is not telling the truth. Is that correct?
Again, I'm not going to characterize Andy's testimony, but mine is the same today.
All right, I'm going to make a final point because my time has expired. This investigation of the president was corrupt. The FBI and the Department of Justice were politicized and weaponized. And in my opinion, there are only two possibilities. That you were deliberately corrupt or woefully incompetent. And I don't believe you were incompetent. This has done severe damage to the professionals and the honorable men and women at the FBI because law enforcement should not be used as a political weapon.
Well said, Ted. Well said. So here's Benny Johnson talking about the same thing. Here we go.
Welcome back. Breaking right now. Tonight, a major update to a story we brought to you earlier in the hour. A grand jury has just handed down an indictment for former FBI Director James Comey. The Justice Department accuses Comey of lying to Congress while under oath back in 2020. Let's bring in David Spunt with all the breaking details. David, what can you tell us?
Well, Jillian, we are waiting to get the actual details of the indictment. We're just told that an indictment has been handed up against the former FBI Director, James Comey. So I don't want to speculate on the actual charges yet until I see the paper in hand. That's the only responsible thing to do. But we know that James Comey, the former FBI Director, has been indicted. We're waiting to see if there's any sort of comment from the Justice Department.
All righty. There you have it. So James Comey should be arrested today for lying under oath to Congress. And, well, I'm sure there might be more that's going to come out regarding all that. And make sure I keep you guys updated. Now, the other big news regarding the FBI, and I've always said this, I've always said it. If you watch my show, you are sometimes years ahead of the news cycle. And I actually, matter of fact, while I'm playing this Dan Bongino clip, I'm going to try to find the clip just to show you really quick.
Be looking in
how far ahead of the news cycle you were on the thing that we're about to cover next, because it was a bombshell released late last night.
Let me ask you about, are you going to be looking into, Cash and Pam, any potential collusion between the DOJ, Letitia James, the novel legal theory of Alvin Bragg, or Nathan Wade, or Fani Willis and the DOJ? Is that something? Has anything come up? Is there any way to determine whether or not evidence was destroyed in any of these cases?
Well, there's always a way to determine that. I don't want to comment on that specific case right now for a reason. I don't want to get ahead of the Department of Justice on that. But I want to say this. The FBI obviously has the public corruption portfolio. And yes, if you are a corrupt politician out there, if you are engaged in behavior, you know what you're doing, we're going to find you. I promise. No one is going to get off. The days of selecting and putting your partisan bias on and taking care of your friends, those days are over. You know what, Sean? I don't have any friends. I don't want any friends. Well, maybe outside of you and a couple of I don't care. I didn't come here for the money. I didn't come here to make. I know.
No, you didn't go there for the money. I can tell people that for sure.
No, I didn't come here to make friends. I don't give a damn about friends. I don't have any friends. I don't want any friends. I got my wife. I got you, and I got a small crew of people. So I don't need any friends. If
you want a friend in D.C., get a dog.
We're coming for you.
That'll help.
Yeah, exactly. You want a friend in D.C., right? Go get a Labradoodle like I have, because there are no friends in D.C. You've been doing this, 30 years? There are no friends here.
Love it. Love it. Well, he's doing work, and I think he's partly to do with what may have came out just yesterday. Do you see this video I have posted here for you guys? 1 year ago, I posted this video over a year ago, actually. I'm trying to see if I can get an exact date on when I posted it. The description reads, Clay Higgins made shocking claims that undercover assets for the FBI operated on January 6th in the hundreds. Higgins asserted that the assets were dressed as Trump supporters and helped those who entered the Capitol navigate the building. The Louisiana Republican appeared on the Tucker Carlson encounter and told the host that he estimated at least 200 undercover FBI agents, both inside and outside the Capitol building. I covered this over a year ago. I was told I was a conspiracy theorist. I was told I was wrong. I was told I didn't know what I was doing. I was told to shut up. Blah, 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 blah. Well. A bombshell report dropped late last night. 274 agents were sent to the Capitol on January 6th, and many later complained that they were political pawns. Hidden for 4 years, an after-action report on FBI's involvement in January 6th riot found by Director Patel shows dozens of agents feared that the FBI had become woke and liberally biased. The FBI secretly deployed more than 250 plainclothes agents to the U.S. Capitol during the January 6, 2021 riot. We were told that didn't happen. We were told we were making that up. We were told it was all fake. An operation so disorganized, it unleashed searing frustrations among many of the FBI's rank and file that the Bureau had lost its core competencies to wokeness and allowed its employees to become pawns in a political war, according to an after-action report kept from the public for more than 4 years. We covered it. We covered it over a year ago. That's how far ahead of the news cycle all of us were. The sad thing is a lot of us are sitting here and going, yeah, we already knew it, Brad. You talked about it before. It's nothing new. It's not news for us. News is something that's new. We already knew this. But now, if you only know, everybody and their mother was posting about this last night. Everybody. People are running it right now on Rumble. People are doing full shows just on this one little thing. We did a full show on this one little thing a year ago. Sources of the FBI, scores of the FBI agents and personnel, many from the Bureau premier, Washington field office sent anonymous complaints to the after-action team detailing how agents were sent into an unsafe scenario without proper safety equipment or the ability to identify themselves readily as armed officers to other police agencies to report obtained by Just the News. The most persistent complaint was that the Bureau during the James Comey and Christopher Wray era had become infected with political biases and liberal ideology that treated the protest from the 2020 Black Lives Matter riots far differently than those arrested in the aftermath of the January 6th episode, which is, that's obvious, right? This is just showing evidence that, oh, you're not crazy, you guys. Oh, that all this was true. Oh, now the dots are all aligning because we were gaslit for 4 years telling us, no, the Black Lives Matter weren't treated differently than the J6 riots. Really? I mean, they're not even comparable. Black Lives Matter was way worse, their riots, than January 6th, and January 6th wasn't good. But if you want to do like a comparison, not even close, baby. The FBI should make clear to its personnel and the public that despite its obvious political bias, it ultimately still takes its mission and priorities seriously, one employee wrote in a stinging review. Yeah, I got questions. I got a lot of questions. Who's going to jail? So the response of this page was 50 pages in all. And they were located by current FBI Director Kash Patel's team and recently turned over to the House Judiciary Committee and its special subcommittee investigating security failures and weaponization of law enforcement. So the document also reveals for the first time that there were widespread concerns for years inside the Bureau, sentiments that boiled over after the FBI began sending SWAT teams to arrest January 6 participants on misdemeanor charges. But the FBI had become biased in favor of liberals and against conservatives. Well, I mean, the actions even prove that as well. Now, again, this is nothing new. We've heard there was reports that some of these undercover agents were the ones that are actually antagonizing people, getting people riled up like they're animals to go inside the Capitol. Now, for those that stormed the Capitol and wanted to go inside it thinking that they weren't breaking the law and acting like idiots, well, you deserve jail time because you acted like an idiot. Is what it is. You served your time. You got what you wanted. You went inside the Capitol. You took a dump on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Cool. You thought you were awesome. I think you're an idiot, but we're a difference of opinions here. So these people allegedly helped incite the riots, which, anybody knows that when you're in a large body of people and a lot of people don't function off logic and reason, they function off emotion, whether you're on the right or the left. Well, when you start riling those people up and you're like, yeah, we're all going to go in, storm at the beaches of Normandy, get ready, boys. Right? Then every guy knows this. Like, fuck yeah, we're doing it. Hell yeah, my grandfather fought for this country. Hell yeah, I was in Vietnam. Right? You start getting the flashbacks like, shit, fucking Charlie everywhere. And you start feeling like you need to go in, People are crazy, man. And that very much is a thing. I know I'm being satirical with it. That is very much a thing. People losing their shit like, fucking let's do it. I've been waiting for this shit. I've been training. Freaking weirdos out there, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, we're a little bit rocking and rolling this morning. It's good to see everybody in the chat. God, the coffee just hits different some days. You know what I mean? So you can check that out, Just the News, but everybody's talking about it. Everybody's posting about it. And I'm sure as Kash Patel will move forward, we're going to get more and more news on this. But even it was breaking late last night for the Blaze Media. FBI had 275 plainclothes agents. Now we're getting reports that it's more than 300 embedded in January 6th crowds. Now, I do want to go over to Blaze Media and actually see if we can find that article, because I will say Glenn Beck has a really great research team. I would say he has one of the greatest research teams in all of media. And that's how he gets these stories out and is able to write his books. So let's see what we have here. We found no evidence in the materials we reviewed or the testimony we received showing or suggesting the FBI had undercover employees in various protest crowds or on January 6th or at the Capitol. That came from the DOJ OIG, said in an 88-page report. Uh-oh, somebody's lying here. Really? Oh, because that's not what just came out. Somebody's lying, folks. Depending on how one reads undercover agents versus plainclothes agents, both statements could be true. The same report disclosed that 26 FBI confidential human sources were in the January 6th crowds, 4 of whom entered the Capitol. Well, if you enter the Capitol, why would you do that? One second. Or disclosed that 26 FBI confidential human sources were in the January 6th crowds, 4 of whom entered the Capitol. Well, if you enter the Capitol, All right, audio's good. Why would you do that? Let me know if the audio is a little messed up. But I think we're going to be okay. So the same report disclosed, again, that 26 FBI confidential human sources were inside the January 6 crowds, and then 4 of them went inside the Capitol. Now, that's just what's said now. The question is, how many more went inside the Capitol? Why, by the way, why are you going inside the Capitol? What business do you have inside there? That's a little odd. Maybe they do. No idea. Not an FBI agent. The DOJ Inspector General said only 3 of the FBI informants had been assigned by the Bureau to come to Washington. Oh, because they were going to report on domestic terrorism subjects who were possibly attending the event. Gotcha. Okay. So what about the other 200 and something odd FBI agents that were there? I have no qualms with FBI agents there. My problem is that you freaking lied about it. Oh, yeah, nobody there. I mean, look, it says right here, we found no evidence, you guys. Yeah, I found no evidence whatsoever. Weird. But then Kash Patel, 8 months. It took him 8 months to find a bunch of evidence to show that you're lying. Well, man, of the 26 informants, 4 entered the Capitol protest and rioting. Look at that. And rioting. The OIG report said none was authorized by the FBI to break the law or enter a restricted area. Oh, gee, isn't that the question I just proposed? Why would you do that? That's kind of a little weird. Nor was any CHS directed by the FBI to encourage others to commit illegal acts on January 6th. Well, let's just see here. If they weren't authorized to go into restricted areas or break the law, but they did it anyways, but then if they weren't encouraged or directed to commit illegal acts, well, if they didn't mind breaking the law or enter a restricted area, meaning just kind of blow off their top brass, no, then that doesn't stop me from thinking that they committed this year. What's stopping them from doing this? Going in, breaking stuff, act like an idiot. The chairman of the House, chairman of the new House January 6th Select Committee subcommittee, also expressed determination to drill down on the FBI presence and the role of the agents. Well, why don't you get those agents in there to testify under oath about what the hell actually went on? Unbelievable. Look at this. Nearly 50 FBI agents and others working under the Bureau auspices on January 6th, such as officers from the Joint Terrorism Task Force, Naval Criminal Investigative Service, U.S. Army Counterintelligence, and other agents who later wrote probable cause affidavits for January 6 arrest warrants. It's not clear whether those personnel would be a part of the 274 employees disclosed in the Congress by the FBI. We knew it. Knew it all along. It's another conspiracy theory that we were told that you're all tinfoil hat losers and you don't know what you're doing. Cheap fakes, deep fakes. You're making it all up. By the way, it also follows in line with the Democrats on what they were doing. Remember how the Democrats said, no, this is all the footage we have. We're going to show you the same 6 minutes, by the way, for years. This is all the footage we have. But yet, Tucker Carlson, when he was still on Fox News, released information that said, well, we have not 6 minutes of the same footage. No. We have 40,000 hours of footage that weren't shown. And then do you all remember that the Democrats on the committee go, we've never seen that before. Where'd you get that? They were shocked, right? They acted stupid is what they really did. They're like, where'd that come from? And then he goes, meaning him, Tucker, by the way, we're able to see the actual coding of where you all looked at this footage, meaning we know exactly what you've seen and not seen, and you've all seen the footage. And you know what they came out and did on the committee? You know who they blamed? They blamed their staffers. Yeah, we showed you the footage, by the way, of it actually happening. We showed you in the hearing itself that they were called out for it, and they blamed their staffers for their staffers were the ones that watched the footage, not them. Can't even do their job right. You know they saw it. They just hid it from all of you is what they did. They just hid it from all of you.
Do not go in there.
A radio journalist from Michigan was shooting video that day at the Capitol. What he captured were 2 most charitably called suspicious actors, but they are dressed in such a way that led him to believe that they were government agents. And one of them, after the windows had been broken by a protester, it was encouraging people to to pull the rest of the glass out and go inside. Bobby Powell, who was the journalist that had shot it, and he has his camera rolling, he told him that would be illegal and that wouldn't be a good idea. He warned people off not to go into that window, and then he turned his camera around and he caught this agent or suspicious actor pulling a large pane of glass out, this tempered glass. It kind of folds into itself, crunch onto the ground. When he realized he was being filmed, he quickly dropped it. It seems apparent on the video that he did not want to be seen doing what he just did. So he pulled in a protester and started blaming him. He said, "What are you doing breaking that window?" The poor fellow that was being accused didn't know what was going on. And then he gave him a couple of really good shoves and cocked his arm like he was going to punch him. We don't know. His facial image is not on any of the Sedition Hunters sites or the FBI's most wanted site. But he clearly was committing criminal damage to property, and he has not been charged. So it raises a question of
why. What do you guys think?
Also, the individual trying to, again, opening the window up is even encouraging people to enter, I believe, as well?
Yes.
What's he saying?
Well, he said, "Why don't y'all open the rest of it up?"
Why don't you guys open up the rest of it? Because I think that would probably be illegal. Oh, I know, my glasses.
It almost looks... Trying to see, it almost looks like he had an earpiece in. Hold on a second. It would be his right ear, but it's to our left. Hold on, I want to see if I get a better angle here.
When breaking that window, the poor fellow that was being accused didn't know what was going on. And then he gave him a couple of really good shoves.
Right here.
And
yeah, right here. Because I saw that earlier. There's something going in his ear right here.
His arm like he was...
Do you guys see that? I want to see if he turns his head. Yeah, you see that? Right there. I saw it on the other video here initially. Let's see if we can catch it. Look closer. Right there. Right there. And you know what's weird? I'm pretty sure these are Apple headphones, and his mic is right next to his mouth. And I'll tell you, it is weird. Look, just in the same way that the left always have their dyed purple hair, half their head buzzed, right? Probably overweight, complaining about shit all the time. Like, you could look at it, you could look somebody down the street, be like, okay, yeah, you're freaking like a Bernie supporter, right? Like, you're a trans person. Like, you could just call them out. But they could do that with me. There's a brand that I have. I wear the same hat for a reason. You know that when somebody's wearing a American flag on their hat, you're like, oh, yeah, this guy's a Republican conservative. Like, you just immediately know, because Democrats don't wear that for some reason. I don't know why, but they don't. They tend not to. They don't dress patriotically because, well, let's face it, some of them don't seem to love this country as much as we do. It's the same thing for like guys that either were in the military or they done some sort of government service. They all wear the same watch, right? Everybody knows that. If you could see a former police officer or former military personnel, just look at their watch, you know automatically that they probably served in some sort of branch. Just look, that's one metric. Almost always look at their watch. You will know if somebody's an off-duty police officer. You'll know if they're former military personnel. I was never in the military, but I know a shit ton of people that were, and both my grandfather and my dad were. They all dress very similar. They wear the same type of clothing. I immediately picked up on that regarding this guy right here. And if you notice his posture too, he doesn't slouch. I know this is going too far into it. He doesn't slouch. He's very upright. And you see his hand. Oh, I'm in the way. Hold on a second. Look at this. I'm going to show you this. Do you see his hands right here, how he's standing? Where you have the arms crossed like this. Eddie, soldier! Did everybody... I mean, it's all body language. Look how he stops, and what you'll see is he goes up like this, and that's not, you don't get that from an average Joe citizen, you guys. This guy's probably former military, or he is an FBI agent. By the way, why the hell does he have a walkie-talkie on him? So he has comms on him, which now I'm thinking that the comms is hooked up to that walkie-talkie because I'm seeing the cord now hooked up to it. Watch out, boom, right there.
Do not go in.
Now, maybe that might have been because he thought the guy was going to come up on him and seized up. Boom. See that?
Do not go in there.
Yeah, that's definitely hooked up to that comms. Why would you have comms?
A radio journalist from Michigan was shooting video that day at the Capitol.
Weird. All weird nonetheless. So that's there for you, folks. We have updates on the shooter for the ICE facility, so let's check that out really quick. We're going to continue to get more information about this, but notes behind that he hoped law enforcement would find after he shot and killed himself after the attack. Authorities said his plans were months in the making and that he spent days leading up to the fatal shooting searching for videos of the Charlie Kirk assassination. He also left a note stating, yes, it was just me, indicating that he acted alone. I don't think this is going to stop, unfortunately. I think doing a podcast, doing any on the street interviews, doing anything that's remotely of the right, even speaking your mind, you are now a target. You and your family are now a target to be assassinated and murdered. I firmly do believe that. I am going to be watching everything very closely for the next few months because this is starting to get a little bit dangerous, folks. And I should say a little bit dangerous. I'm really paring it down. This is starting to get very dangerous to do even a show like this anymore. It is getting very... Tim Pool is talking about retiring. Him and his family are being targeted. They are hunting him down. And I'm not exaggerating. He's talking about this shit multiple times now. Ben Shapiro has seven-figure security detail with him 24/7. And that's been going on for years. It is getting to the point where they're finding you and your family and they're just going to come kill you. Is basically what's going on. It's very sad. It's very sad. I want everybody that's always supported me to know I will always be doing something on social media like YouTube or something. If this gets too sketchy, because I'm not going to put my family at risk for a few bucks on YouTube. That ain't happening. Nobody deserves that because I want to have some fun doing a freaking hobby. And listen carefully, if I decide to stop the Bald Brad Show, I will be doing something else on YouTube, but it wouldn't be political. Does that make sense? So, yeah. I deleted it on purpose. I don't want that out there. So, anyways, authorities say Jan wrote that he wanted to inflict terror on those federal agents and that he did not want to cause any harm or to detainees. Still, ironically, he deleted one detainee and critically injured two others. Federal officers said that the ICE agents were heroically helping to save the detainees who were shot. One ICE official, Marcos Charles, emphasized that the mainstream media and anti-ICE activists are sharing disinformation that encourages such acts of violence. So these people are getting really unhinged. And it could not, again, it could affect me. Like people can, say they're going to come after me all they want. But when you have this world we're living in, and Jeff kind of emphasized it, where it is, you guys really, you guys already know we've gotten death threats in the past, and it's I put it as simply as it can be. I don't know if it's actually worth doing this show anymore. And I was talking to some people and they said, well, aren't you going against what you've been saying that you're just going to let the left win? Yeah, well, they would win anyways if they just killed me. You know what I mean? Like that's where, I mean, again, if you listen to a lot of these creators, that's what they're talking about. And by the way, if they're not talking about it to you on air, they're not being honest with you. All of them are worried right now. All of them are worried that they're going to get deleted or somebody's going to harm one of their family members or one of their friends or whatever. That's how psycho these people are. It could be your coworkers. It could be your friends. It could be your family. It doesn't matter to these people. It's getting a little bit too dangerous, folks. So just, it's something that I'm going to be watching over the next few weeks to a few months to see if this show's even worth doing anymore. When I started, it wasn't a big deal. Like you didn't really worry about this. You always had psychos online. But what I would do, again, the channel would go dark, but I would just start another channel and we would hang out and talk about something else. Most likely it's going to be spooky adventures if I decide. It's going to be something that I'm curious on, of aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot, doing reaction videos. But it's just getting too dangerous. And then if the climate changes in the future, then maybe we'll bring it back. But I would be lying to you if I wasn't heavily thinking, and I'm talking heavily. I'm sure you've heard my rhetoric. When I say I'm heavily thinking about doing the show, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I've almost pretty much made up my mind, put it that way. And there's a lot of things you guys don't know about, as it has nothing to do other than the fact of it's just getting way too dangerous. There's times where I will go out, and I'll be honest, it does feel like you're being watched, man. I'm not kidding. Like, I can't even go out for a run without thinking, like, I'm literally always looking around. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't feel safe. I don't want that. You know what I mean? So I'll think about it. I was having a conversation with my family. So we'll see. I just want to I always keep you guys in the loop. I think that's fair because you guys put your money into this show. You know what I mean? Like you guys donate to the show, and it's like, that's great. And I really, really appreciate it. But I don't want, if I say, hey, I'm stopping, I want to give you guys your month's worth of content, and then we would end. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep doing it, but I'll let you know. You guys all need to hop over probably to Spooky Adventures though, but we'll see. Man, it would be very sad. It'd be end of an era because I was like, man, we're gonna live up this whole Trump thing, and this is awesome. And man, we get 3 years of Trump. Now it's like, yo, we're freaking being killed right now, and they're targeting conservatives. And by the way, Tim Pool's not even a conservative, and they're going after the guy. That's how crazy these people are. Tim Pool is not even a freaking Republican or conservative, and they're still going after the guy. And Ben Shapiro's conservative, but they're going after Steven Crowder, right? They're going after Michael Knowles. They're going after Andrew Klavan. They're going after Matt Walsh. They've hacked Matt Walsh, right? Who was it that also this morning was hacked and gone after? Where's she at? Tara right here. Tara was, who follows us on X. She hosts a radio show. She was hacked. You know what I mean? It's just gotten crazy. It really has gotten crazy. You have Lauren Chen, who is back, by the way. Lauren Chen had the FBI and the DOJ go after her. And if you would like to donate money to her and her family, you can read the whole response of what happened. Everybody knows Lauren Chen. She used to be with the Blaze. She's used to be a major influence in terms of conservative media. She was gone after. So if you want to donate, she's trying to raise funds. If you read this, like what happened to them, the government basically took everything from them. It was so horrible to read. Whether you think that she's in the right or in the wrong, watching something like this happen to a family is just god awful. And they seized her accounts. She has 6-figure plus legal expenses to fight this thing. And man, so when I see somebody reaching out, like an influencer like this, reaching out for like a GoFundMe, you know something's bad. You know things are real, real bad. Brad, I listen to this every weekday morning before anything else. I appreciate that. We're not going anywhere yet. I want to see how things kind of ravel out, but it's the other thing I've thought about doing is still doing a show, but no face, no image. But then people are like, oh, this is Brad. We know who Brad is. And it gets out. So I don't know. We'll see. To keep in touch with Patriots in here, please email Brad your info. If he sends everyone else the info, I'll send contact. Yeah, we should start an email list. I might be able to do that on my website, an email list. Well, actually, the website would go dark too. Everything would be going dark, other than maybe I'd move over to like Spook Adventures, or I'd do a vlog channel or something like that. It's never been about money. If you guys have not caught on to that, I just enjoy doing this. And today you can't even cover the news. Like, the death threats I've gotten actually weren't even about like conservative or Republican ideas or thoughts. They were about me talking about like just the news in the Middle East. If you guys saw the stuff I get on TikTok, you can't even just talk about anything. Legitimately, you cannot talk about anything. You're not even adding your opinion. You're just saying, hey, this happened. That's it. And people will start. I mean, it's so wild nowadays, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. We are really in a dark place. So again, take that link. If you're able to contribute anything, even if it's $1 or whatever, I don't know if there's a minimum on this, but help them out. And she got kids, a father, and that's a tough one. But if she was the one that has Tenet Media, and then people said that they were Russian propagandists, which kind of really caught me off guard, because I was like, really? Like, Lauren doesn't seem like somebody that would be doing something like that. That's kind of odd. So we'll see. I appreciate you guys' love and support though in the show. But like I said, I know I'm repeating myself. We would be doing something on YouTube. It just, everything political would be gone, which is sad because the left is now winning the fight on that one. And I don't have the money to pay any sort of security. And I don't want to put my family in that situation, if that makes sense. It's kind of messed up. Or my friends. All right. Well, speaking of crime, speaking of craziness, hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate y'all. A string of violent smash and grab robbery schemes in California is drawing renewed attention to the state's crime issues. Meanwhile, Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is ratcheting up language against federal law enforcement. One expert says California jewelry stores have been hit by at least 30 robberies of this kind since March. Jeez. There was one video I saw of this store getting robbed of over $1 million in jewelry. The robbers have racked up millions in dollars worth of merchandise, and often the suspects involved are juveniles. And that's what I've always mentioned to people, is that a lot of those juvenile crime, or the juvenile crime just in general, is actually not within the statistics that you guys see online, because they're sealed up. Sometimes they will be, but it's the ones that they were able to actually look into, and then they can contribute that to the crime data. So just so you know, what's happening is a lot of these gangs are having these juveniles commit the crimes to get into the gang or show their worth or whatever the hell it is. And that doesn't get reported in the crime. So crime is still up, by the way. Crime is like insane, but it's because they're having the juveniles do that. And it's showing that the crime is down. Carnage in the past week, an armed gang of 30 people here. Oh, here, this is the one I saw. This is it. Raided a jewelry store outside San Francisco. They smashed cases with crowbars and pickaxes and stole around $1 million worth of goods. So I think we have a clip here. Let me see if I can get this for you guys. I'll show you the same clip that I saw here. It's god awful. They just go and ransack the whole place. And
nearly 25 suspects, at least 3 armed with guns, stormed Heller Jewelers at City Center Bishop Ranch.
The crowbars and the pickaxes, and basically taking whatever jewelry was available.
Cell phone video shows the suspects locked inside of the store, at least one firing a shot to break the glass door open. Police tell ABC 7 News this was a security measure put in place after the store was robbed 2 years ago. Now, a security guard must press a button to let people out.
What ended up happening was once the suspects went in, the door locked behind them.
Police credit a 2023 grant for organized retail theft with helping them respond quickly. A newly acquired drone captured the suspects trying to flee. 6 getaway cars were waiting about 100 feet away in the valet area.
It shows all the suspect vehicles as well as all the suspects entering, leaving their cars and entering their.
Officers pursued the suspects until the chase posed a danger to the public. But with help from nearby law enforcement and detailed footage of the suspects' actions, San Ramon police were able to quickly arrest 7 of the nearly 24 involved. All 7 are from Oakland, ranging in age from 17 to 31, and are believed to be connected to similar crimes across the Bay Area.
This is not their first time doing something like this.
So far, police have recovered 2 guns and some jewelry left behind. Many of the getaway vehicles had been reported stolen. Despite the arrest, the group still managed to escape with roughly $1 million worth of goods.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Pat, thank you for giving more memberships today. You gave memberships, I believe, yesterday. So now Angel, Shannon, Lighthouse Keeper, Transor, Chrissy, and yeah, all got membership. Shout out to Pat for offering and gifting people the Bald Brad Show memberships. Thank you. God bless you. Now y'all get badges, which is kind of cool to see. Isn't that crazy, man? Just going in. They get some, look at this. I mean, coming in with, this looks like an extended magazine, by the way. That does look like a Glock. I can't see. That one's too blurry for me. But yeah, coming in with firearms, you know. This guy's clearly black. Any white guys in here? Can't tell. They're all covered from head to toe. So, yep. Yeah, just love it. You can't even have a mom and pop store anymore, right? You can't even have a freaking not saying that place is mom and pop, but you can't even have a store anymore. The reason why I say that, there was a guy. Let me see if I can find it. There was a guy that was just robbed not too long ago, and he was an elderly man. Jewelry store robbed, and he got robbed. I mean, they threw the guy. I don't know why he didn't have a shirt on, but he got thrown down. Here we go. It's this clip right here. Check this out. They back through his front door. This was not too long ago. Make sure I don't blow your ears out. Just throws down the elderly guy. Just trying to run a business, pays bills, pays taxes. Probably had a timer. Might have a police scanner. And honking the horn to get them out of there. Because police are probably on their way. So, if you missed it, they come in and just push the old guy down right there. Which is always scary, you know what I mean? Is because, you know, obviously older people have fragile bones. I mean, it doesn't take much to get you into the hospital after breaking a hip or something like that, and you're done, man. It's hard to recover. And I hope, I mean, it looks like he just might have gray hair, and it looks like he's in pretty good shape. So I'm hoping for a speedy recovery, but just I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's like so discouraging to see everything that's going on. This is breaking, I guess, over in Chicago right now, where masked rioters are blocking and attacking ICE agents. So remember, Gavin Newsom wants these ICE agents not to have masks covering their face. And the only reason for that is because Gavin Newsom knows, because he's a sleazeball, that these people will go target these ICE agents' families and them when they're at home. That's the whole purpose of it. So the Democrat Party is moving more into going after and targeting conservatives and Republicans. I hate to say it, man, and I hope I'm wrong, but it almost seems and feels like we are moving, and I don't want this to happen. Please understand that. I'm not rooting for it. I'm not encouraging it. It just is just what it feels like. I think it's going to continue to get worse with conservative Republicans and police officers being targeted and killed. I think that it will head into a full-blown civil war if this stuff keeps ramping up and going in the direction that we're going. Now, it might not happen in 5 years or 10 years. There's nothing being done to stop any of this. You think Donald Trump's only here for 3 years. I'm not worried about when Donald Trump's here. I'm worried about after. So check this video out. Every single one of these people should be arrested for inhibiting an investigation or some sort of law enforcement activity. If you don't start arresting these people and upping the prison time or the jail time, it doesn't mean anything. Every single one of these people that is touching this vehicle right now and standing in front of it should be locked up and arrested, thrown in jail. And it'd be the same thing if we were out there protesting. But by the way, the Tea Party didn't do stuff like this. If these were Republicans, I don't give a shit. You'd arrest them as well. Don't act like an idiot. Run them over. Run them over. Just floor it. Because if you start flooring it through all these people every single time, then the hope is that they would know, oh, well, I'm just going to get ran over. My life ain't worth it. Because, these people don't really care, right? All these people are probably socialist, communist, but they don't want to live in a socialist, communist country, right? They just want to complain. So if you feel like you're really fighting for the cause, I want to see if you're willing to stand out in front of a 40-mile-an-hour vehicle. That's what I want to see. You shouldn't be standing in front of a vehicle. By the way, if you're in the middle of the street, which he is, by the way, I can see the stop sign back there, you have the right of way as a vehicle. The pedestrian does not in the middle of the street. So you got that going on. Let's see if they actually get out and arrest anybody. Nope, nothing. Of course. See, when you're lax on law enforcement, meaning giving people consequences, then you're just going to get more of this, and it's going to continue to get worse. They're going to start targeting you. They're going to start targeting your family. They're going to start doxing you. They're going to start hacking you. They're going to start finding where you work. They're going to start doing all these other things. They've already been doing it. It's only going to get worse. Well, folks, we will keep you updated on everything. I mentioned how I might go dark on YouTube. I'm not going to do that anymore. It's not even worth my time. So we're just going to keep doing the show. We'll kind of see what happens. I'll keep you updated if the show was ever going to stop. But I am leaning that direction, just to be fair. We'll kind of probably play out till the end of the year and kind of see what happens. If the climate changes and everybody's kind of freaking cool and chill and it's like, hey, yeah, you can speak your mind. You're going to be fine. I don't think that's going to happen, by the way, but we will see. It's not if I was getting paid like 6 figures to do this and we had a bunch of donors, not I'm talking like donors that was like, okay, cool, I can pay for security, my safety is going to be fine, then I would think about it. But I don't want to live life looking over my freaking shoulder every time I'm going doing something fun, or if I want to go out to eat, somebody worrying about, spiking my food, poisoning my food, or some crazy shit like that because they saw me on social media and, oh, Trump supporter guy has a MAGA hat. Yeah, let's fuck with him. Yeah, I don't really want to live life like that. It's not exactly fun. So it's kind of sad. It's really fucked up in my opinion. Sorry to cuss, but it's true. It's true that we have to live life like this, isn't it? But don't worry. You guys are the racists. You're the bigots, the homophobes, all these other things. Yeah, you're the terrible people. Yeah, sure. Like, give me a break. All right. Well, I love you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you always for supporting the show. Thank you for always your kind and hearted comments. We'll be back here maybe over the weekend. We'll see. But make sure you check out Spooky Adventures, my second channel. Head over there if you want to find me. The Spooky Adventures is also on TikTok. And I plan on hopefully doing a video this weekend. We'll see. But with that being said, God bless you. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for the United States of America that we can come back together. And pray for Charlie Kirk and his family. With that being said, God bless you, Patriots. Take care.